And there's multiple different levels to codependency. But ultimately, you're looking for validation from other people, right? You're looking for validation from other people. You feel like you need other people in your life. You feel like, you're constantly trying to people please people. You're constantly stuck in fight, flight, freeze. And definitely most common in situations like these, people who are in these chats, what's most common is the fawn response, the people pleasing response, right? Needing to please others. I don't want to rock the boat. Right? And this is the reason why so many people who are in these two chats end up in narcissistic relationships, because people who are codependent fail to have trouble setting boundaries, right? Speaking up for themselves, because they are so afraid of rock. You hear people say, like, I just didn't want to rock the boat. Rock the damn boat, right? If it needs to be rocked, right? Speak up for yourself. Those things are healthy. They're not unhealthy. Right. And so what happens when you don't speak up for yourself? What happens when you don't set boundaries? What happens when you don't enforce a boundary? Right. And let me take codependency one more step further, because there's some people who do speak up for themselves and they say, like, oh, no, I said something. I yelled at them. I did this and I did that. But you don't enforce boundaries. You can speak up for yourself and not do anything about it. That's still a problem. You can tell someone, you can say, if you continue to talk to me like this, I'm going to walk away. And they know, and you know that you're not walking away from that conversation because you fear conflict, and you fear that person leaving your life because you're a codependent. You feel like you need someone in your life to validate your feelings and validate your value, on this planet, on this earth, right? Make sure you're valid to society. So to heal this, you have to all of this starts out in childhood, right? It starts out in childhood. You're raised in an environment where speaking up for yourself for one reason or another was uncomfortable, that you were raised in an environment that setting and enforcing boundaries was uncomfortable, right? And what happens is that because you develop these habits, because this was conditioned into you, you basically are groomed for a narcissist, because that's exactly what they want. Someone who has value, right? Because most people, everyone in here has value. I'm sure everyone here, has great jobs and this and that. But the problem is that when someone starts to push on those boundaries, you cave to their demands because you don't want to rock the boat. If you would set boundaries early and often, you would find out who the narcissists are. Like that. Literally, it's their kryptonite. Boundaries are their kryptonite. Seriously. The problem, though, and some people, they do set boundaries, like I was talking about before, they do speak up. But then when the narcissist gets pissed and starts to push, because you have these people-pleasing response, because you're stuck in a fawn response, you cave. When you set a boundary and someone gets pissed, that doesn't mean that you should have said yes. As a matter of fact, the fact that they got pissed, you actually should hold on to that no for good. And what happens is that when you set a boundary and that person continues to escalate, for those of you who are on the dating scene, that's a person that you need to be walking away from, not someone that you're trying to fix the relationship with. I hear so many people that, like, we've been dating for a month, and things aren't going very well. I want to fight for the relationship. What relationship? It's been a month. It's one thing. If it's been like 20 years, but a month, 6 months, a year and a half, not enough time. You don't have the equity into the relationship to be able to justify giving this person 3, 4, 5 different chances, where someone has been with someone for like 6 months and all of a sudden you already start to see signs of cheating and things like that. You don't have the equity in there. Fuck them. 6 months? Are you kidding me? Right? Do you think that those type of behaviors are going to change? No, not at all. Right? They are going to get worse. And so when you're setting boundaries, what happens is that the toxic, negative narcissists are going to escalate, right? The ones that are people who are healthy, guess what? They're going to respond well, right? Because healthy people like boundaries. They respect boundaries. And so, and what does this do ultimately? Ultimately, this is an opportunity for you to begin to trust yourself and also an opportunity for you to begin to trust others. Because it becomes very easy to trust others when you know exactly what to expect, right? It's literally just setting boundaries and collecting data. People who get angry, people who push, and when I say angry, it doesn't always show up with someone getting, escalating and getting aggressive. It could also be very passive aggressive with a narcissist or with someone who's toxic, right? They might respect it initially, right? Oh yeah, I can't hang out tonight. I got to work. I got to work early tomorrow. And then for the next week, they keep saying things to you like, well, if you wouldn't have had to work last night, we could have had fun. And they keep on pushing into it. Healthy people don't do that. They respect it. Oh, yeah. I forgot that you had to work tomorrow. No big deal. Right? We'll catch up later. Let me know when you're free. And it's not that serious. Right? Once you start to understand that, but you also have to, guess what? This is the reason why you have to be okay with rejection. Because when you start setting and enforcing boundaries, you will 100% get rejected from time to time. The thing about rejection is that rejection is not a negative thing. If you set a boundary and it causes someone to reject you, then guess what? They just don't. It's not a good fit, right? Period.